Where were you born?
Hampton, Virginia. Yes, sir.
Were you raised in Hampton?
A little bit, you know what I mean? I guess I was like 12, 13. Then I brought it down to Savannah, Georgia.
And where do you reside these days?
Atlanta, Georgia. I was there for all the years that matter. You know what I
Okay.
mean? South Side.
All right. What age were you when you moved to Atlanta?
It's about 15, 16.
Okay. So you only stayed in Savannah 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, long enough though. All of it.
What were the reasons for the different moves?
My mother, she was in the military brat.
Okay. And what branch was she?
Army, all the way, yeah.
Is she still in the military?
No. This was years ago.
So she didn't retire from the military, do 20 years in the military?
Nah, not at all. She got out gracefully though, for sure. She got out gracefully.
Now, growing up, what was it like for you in Hampton, Savannah, Atlanta? Paint that picture for us.
Man, crazy. Atlanta, well, Hampton, what should I say? Hampton's more, growing up real competitive, for the kids and shit like that. Sports. Savannah, same thing, but they were more geared into, getting money, different things like that, thugging, Atlanta, the same thing. Pretty much, yeah.
Now, somebody not familiar with Hampton, Virginia, how close is that to, let's say, Richmond?
It's about 45 minutes to an hour. Good drive.
And if somebody's not familiar with Savannah, how far is that from Atlanta?
About 4 hours, 3.5, 4,
And do you still have family in Savannah? Do you still have family in Hampton?
Yes, for sure, both of them.
Did you have a rough upbringing?
Rough enough, nothing outside of normal, but what's normal nowadays, right?
It's all relative.
Right. I say yes, I did, Pops wasn't around like talking about it, rest in peace. He passed away, but we getting through it. That's about it.
What age were you when he passed?
Actually, he just passed away last year, but, throughout the melee, he wasn't, there through my day-to-day upbringing, but it's cool.
Your parents split at some point?
Yes, sir. Shout out to Mondukes.
What age were you when they split? Or what grade, perhaps? Rough estimate.
I don't know. I'm like 10 years old.
Were they actually married at one point?
For a little bit. I think that, that played a big part of my upbringing,
So they end up getting a divorce?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, they did that. I don't think it lasted long. My pops wasn't the married type.
Do you know why they split? Do you know the actual reasoning?
Nah, I'll say no.
And I don't know if you can remember, but did you sense this coming? Did you sense they were about to split? Did you sense a divorce looming, or did it catch you by surprise?
I mean, I was too young to say, well, what's a divorce, but I did see change. But we go through that, we grow through that, no biggie, I guess.
And you obviously end up living with your mom.
For sure, for a little bit, my little brother.
Your dad wasn't there day to day, but would there be times you would visit him? Would there be times you would ever live under his roof after the separation? For sure. And I think that's really, he got me into the music part. I think he bought me my first DJ set, the little Gemini twin set. That's where it got me into the music, What age or what grade was this for you? Like 5th or 6th grade. Stayed with him for like 8 months, whatever. Yeah. And where did he stay? What city? He moved around. I think I stayed a little bit everywhere. New Jersey, Iowa, Virginia. Yeah, I'm a traveling man, so. Those 8 months, where did you go? Iowa, Davenport. And what was that like? Shit, black kid, growing up, it's a little crazy, but, it's all relevant. It made me who I am today. It was a lot of white people there? A lot of white people there. A lot of Caucasian? A lot of Caucasians. What do you say that percentage was when you were in Davenport at that time, out of 100%, black versus white? I mean 70-30, but the 30
you know, they stayed on their side. In the 70s, they stayed on their side, for sure.
Was that easy or hard to deal with back then, in those 8 months in Davenport with the 70-30?
To me, I didn't see no difference. You know what I mean? Your 70, my 30, I'm here. I didn't see any difference, especially back then. There was no, you know, I didn't see any race. I still don't see any race color.
Did your parents have a good relationship with each other after they split when it came to co-parenting you?
No. But we got through it. It's cool, you know.
Would you ever use one parent against another to get what you wanted?
Yeah, but it didn't work.
Why not?
Pops wasn't going for it. That's it.
How did this split affect you looking back in your life?
I think it made me a better man. I seen all the trials and tribulations, and I was able to overcome and correct those trials and tribulations, and become a better man.
Would you ever end up having to deal with a step parent later in life?
I did.
Mom's side or father's side?
On my dad's side.
He ended up getting married.
Yes.
And you had a stepmom on that end.
I did. And a little sister. Shout out to my little sister, Victoria.
Did you have much of a relationship with your stepmother on his side?
Yeah, I did. Growing up, I did. I love Sue. She passed away, unfortunately, here, I think, like last year. So, yeah.
Did they both pass away at the same time?
Generally, yeah, like right back to back. So it was a little crazy.
How did each of them pass, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no worries. Natural causes. My pops was, I think it was diabetes, and my stepmom was cancer.
Do you know what type of cancer?
I don't, unfortunately.
When it comes to diabetes, is that something that runs in your family? Is that something you're affected by at all?
I'm not affected directly. I choose to, my health decisions and the way I eat and live affect that. I'm definitely vegan, for sure, all the way.
How long have you been vegan?
2 years. 3 years. Like the first year it was kind of hard, you know what I mean? Like you just playing around, but.
So you eased yourself into being vegan. You didn't flip the light switch and cold turkey the next day.
Nah, definitely not.
How'd you do it? How'd you ease into it? You call it playing around or playing with it, but.
For sure, because I think it's what I've learned is it's something serious. It's nothing to play around with. Like anybody else, I started off with, first we're going to chicken, then we're going to do no beef, then we're going to do no turkey, no fish, and then you just, then you're like, okay, well, we're just going to do vegetarian. And you're like, okay, well, what else can I do? Go, vegan. And then you get into it, and then, you dig into it, it's like the spiritual side of it and the beneficial sides, and,
And now you're full-time with it, full-blown with it.
Yes, sir.
How long do you think you've been? So the 2 years are you saying 2 years you were full-time, or 2 years included the weaning off?
No. 2 years full-time, maybe like a year of vegetarianism, and then another year before the vegetarianism of the weaning off of the actual meat.
Personally for you, what have you noticed any differences of when you were eating whatever versus being vegan at this point?
For sure, the energy is the biggest thing. That's all the way around. My looks,
More energy?
More energy, for sure.
What about weight? Did you lose weight?
Oh yeah, for sure.
How much weight do you think you lost?
Maybe 15, 20 pounds.
And when it came to eating vegan, how did you actually learn what to eat, what not to eat, and that sort of thing?
Trial and error on the internet.
YouTube?
Yeah, a lot of that.
There's also books out there people read. There may also be dietitians, nutritionists people seek advice and help from. So I didn't know if you delved into any of those aspects.
Yeah, no, a lot of YouTube, for sure.
Is there anybody else in your family that's vegan, or were you the first in your family to go vegan, or?
Yeah, no, I'm the first. For sure.
Has anybody followed that? Has anybody got on that train, so to speak, or that wagon, so to speak, after you did?
Nah, not really. I'm converting them though. They see where I'm going.
And you becoming vegan, did that have something to do with knowing that your father was diabetic? Did that have anything to do with seeing his?
I think a little bit.
Okay.
I just think overall, I just think seeing the climate of the world and where we are, and just had enough. That's about it.
Yeah, just curious if there was a turning point that got you to, if there was something specific that really got you into being vegan or becoming vegan.
You want to know the truth, Smallz? I say forks over knives. I watched a documentary and it changed my life, for sure.
How were you introduced to that documentary there?
I can't even remember, to be honest with you, but I came across it and changed my life.
What about on your mother's side? I know you didn't have a step parent on that end, but would you ever have to deal with a boyfriend? Did she ever have a boyfriend? Did you ever have to deal with any of her boyfriends?
Yeah, I did, but I wasn't good with dealing with them, Like she was good at keeping that over there on her side, territorial of the house.
Would you try to sabotage any of those relationships?
Not at all. Not at all. I'm not a hater.
When you're territorial, give me an example.
I'm the man of the house. You know what I mean? At a certain age, you're not just gonna come in here and start telling me, go take the trash out or do this and the third crazy shit.
Were you overprotective of your mother?
Of course, I still am.
And when it came to the step-parent on your father's side, you had a good relationship with your stepmother. How were you able to how were you able to have a good relationship with her? Because sometimes I interview people and we talk about their step-parent and they have a toxic relationship with theirs. How were you able to have a good one with yours?
Honestly, I think it was all due to my dad, growing up, as with my stepmom. I really didn't, I had a relationship with her before I even knew she was my stepmom, if that makes any sense. She was like tutoring me and different things like that. So I guess my dad kind of eased me into the process, which made it kind of easier. But she had kids on her side, shout out to Corey and Jasmine. And we just grew up together kind of, So.
What age did she come into your life before she became your stepmother? Or what grade, perhaps?
I don't know, man. Maybe I was like 10 or 11.
And then what age were you or what grade when she actually becomes official your stepmom?
Maybe like 13, 14.
Was that weird or awkward? She's your tutor at one point, and now she's your stepmom.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. That was a conversation to be had with my dad. We had that,
Now she had her own children that she brought into the mix.
Okay.
Would you ever live, whenever you would stay with your father, would you ever live with those stepchildren as well?
Yeah, for sure. We had a little stint where we stayed together.
What was the arrangements like under the roof? Would you have your own room?
Nah, me and my brother Corey stayed together.
Was that easy or hard for you to deal with?
Nah, that was cool. It was just, it's like my brother. Like I said, we grew up. Well, I thought we, grew up together. So.
Did she treat you like one of her own children?
For sure, definitely. There's no love lost.
And what did that step-parent experience teach you? What did you learn from that? Having a step-parent?
Love is real. I guess it doesn't, you don't have to necessarily have to birth a child or be the biological child, parent to have love for somebody, I guess. I don't know.
Now, even though there was times your father wasn't day-to-day with you, was he still in your life? Or he wasn't? There were periods he wouldn't be in your life.
Yeah, I mean, you know how that go. I mean, it was periods that, he was there, he wasn't there, just being 100. He had his own life, I had my own life. More towards when I, 16, 17, 15, like I'm getting, doing my own thing. I'm really not trying to hear what he got to say, but whatever.
Would you ever have another male figure in your life? Aside from your mother's boyfriend Was there ever another male figure in your life or no?
Yeah, my grandfather, for sure.
Grandfather on your mother's side?
Yeah. Shout out to him too.
Was that ever a conversation? Okay. Did you ever know why he would, when there were periods of your life he was not around, did you know why? Or what his reasoning was? I mean, you might have mentioned it. You said he had his own life.
Yeah.
Would that qualify as the answer to that question, or?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I wasn't trying to find out either, because like I said, I had my own. You know, maybe. Go ahead.
Did you ever feel neglected?
Sometimes.
How would you cope?
Smoking.
Self-medication.
Yeah, for sure.
Tobacco or marijuana?
Marijuana as a teenager.
Did you end up getting addicted to it?
Nah.
When there were periods that he would not be around, what was the toughest thing for you to deal with? Growing up without a father in those time periods?
I don't know. It's kind of, you don't realize it when it's going on. You know, that's just the honest answer.
What did you learn, or what did you take away from that experience when he was not around?
Today, be present. Love your kids. You know what I mean?
Did you ever have that conversation of why he wasn't around? Those certain time periods in your life?
Yeah, for sure. We before he passed away, unfortunately, I'm not gonna say I checked him or nothing like that, but we had a heart to heart. Even within that heart to heart, like there was some laughs in that. You know what I mean? Which was kind of crazy. Damn, I just feel like this is therapy, but yeah, I asked him. I was like, so what happened? You know what I mean? Because he wasn't getting any better. You feel me? So I was like, nah, before you go, we need to talk. What's up? Talk to me.
You initiate that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because there was some conversations, and he was coming at me. You know what I mean? Like, nah, well, why you? And I understand why he was doing, because he was pretty much on his deathbed. He had his thoughts, and I'm coming back at him with like, hey, listen, well, I got questions too. Like that.
Was it awkward, this conversation?
Yeah, of course. At first, because it was like years in the making, years in the making, but got it off.
And this is something you do in person?
Well, nah, because I was here in Atlanta and he was in.
Oh, okay, so this is a phone conversation?
Yeah, but oddly enough, I used to fly back and forth, you know what I mean, every other weekend to go see him. So, but it was just that one weekend where he just, wanted to talk.
Was he apologetic?
Nah, not really. He didn't really apologize, and I understand that, He just telling me what happened and why.
Did you want that? Did you want an apology?
Nah, I just want to know why.
Was there anger on your end? Was there resentment? Was there bitterness?
Of course, all of that. Yeah.
Looking back, do you wish you would have had this conversation sooner?
Of course. Because I feel like, we wouldn't have to go through the things we did. I probably would have made better songs a long time ago. I would have learned how to, be a better person, if you will, what I mean? Better human being.
Have you talked about this in your music?
Yeah, I did, on the intro of Socially Distanced.
And Socially Distanced is the name of the project?
Nah, that's just the intro.
Oh, that's the title of the intro?
Yeah.
What's the name of the project?
The Wake Up. It's a little EP.
At this point, do you have any children yourself?
I do. I have a daughter, 6 years old, London Cotton, and a baby on the way. We're going to find out what the gender is very soon.
Same mother for each?
Same mother for each.
And what age were you when you had your first daughter?
How old when I had Cotton? 23, 24. Yeah.
And still together with the child's mother?
Still married.
Yeah. How long has it been?
8 years.
And you end up getting married first and then having your daughter?
Yep. Yes, sir. It was all in the plan.
And for you, when it comes to marriage, there's some people that never get married. For you, what was your reasoning to marry this woman?
My reason?
Yeah.
Because I loved her. I knew I wanted to be with her for the rest of my life. I know that sounds cliche-ish, but it's the truth. We met when I was 17, you know. We had our stint apart. She did her thing, I did my thing, and, you know, we got back together. It was real. If love is real, you know, you let it go and come back, it's real.
How'd you two meet?
High school. Well, no, I was working in the Athlete's Foot, South Lake Mall. She walked in there, I said, oh my goodness. Yeah.
Did you end up going to the same high school?
Nah, she went to Jonesboro.
Oh, okay. But you were both in high school?
Yeah, same general area.
Same grade?
No, she was a year ahead of me.
So, would you guys be considered high school sweethearts?
Yeah, we would. I do. That's what I call it.
And here's the other question. Do you have to be in the same high school to be considered high school sweethearts? Or if you're both in high school in two separate schools, but you still are a couple from high school, does that consider you high school sweethearts?
If you don't have a car, then you're not. You know what I mean? If you're in high school, if you're in driving age, you know, you gotta be present. I guess, you know.
You've been married 8 years. Is marriage easy or hard?
No, it's hard, but it's worth it. Do it right. You know.
Growing up, you mentioned it was a rough upbringing for you.
Okay.
What do you think the roughest moment for you was that you experienced growing up?
I think that separation from my dad, you know what I mean? Being a young man going through this world without your father, I don't care who you are, what you say, every you know, young man needs his father, period. In hindsight, you know, I didn't think about it when it was going on, but maybe that was probably the hardest thing, because looking back at it now, if he was around and, you know, he was giving me game, I wouldn't have, you know, tripped going down this road or tripped going down that road.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, if that was the roughest moment for you, growing up, what was maybe your best moment for you? Or a really high point in your life?
Say doing music, finding music, you know what I mean? That's about it.
And it started off with DJing at first.
Yeah, the technical aspect of it, you know, the hands-on, the actual, you know, making music.
And then give me the progression after that.
DJing.
How long were you doing that for? Or?
Hobby,
Okay.
You know, nothing serious around that age.
You wanted to be a DJ at first?
Yeah, for sure. That's,
okay.
You know, scratching on 12-inch vinyls and different things like that, but the technology came along and I'm just growing up, then started rapping. That's you know, FL Studio came out, everybody wanna rap in Savannah, you know, we started doing that and then moved to Atlanta.
How long were you DJing for before rapping started?
Maybe a couple years. Like I said, it was just a hobby, nothing crazy.
Did you have a DJ name?
Yeah, I think it was like DJ Quick or something. Like I knew I couldn't be DJ Quick because there was already a DJ Quick. I forgot my DJ name.
Maybe you spelled it differently.
Yeah, I think so. Something crazy like that. Like, yeah.
And then you started rapping at some point.
Yeah, I started rapping down the
and stopped DJing.
For sure.
And then, did you ever get into producing?
Yeah, I produce now. Still not to where I want to be, but it's definitely a thing that I have a passion for, because I have a passion for the music, all aspects of it. I want to know how to work everything.
So were you producing and rapping simultaneously, or you were just rapping for a certain period and then production came in after?
Yeah, rapping and then production came in. Like you said, you know, when you're in there, you want to make music and you don't have beats, you know, at the drop of a dime when you need it. So
the DJ aspect, you had this Gemini setup. The rapping aspect, you had FL Studio. The production aspect, what'd you end up using?
Well, the production was FL and like Logic. I think when I started rapping, I think I like used a cracked version of Cakewalk and the old like Radio Shack microphone in the bathroom.
Oh, okay. You were just referencing FL Studio when it had come out, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's not what you were using.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Okay,
not.
so FL Studio for the production.
Yeah.
So how long were you rapping for before you actually start to delve into the production side of things?
Honestly, Smallz, I literally started making beats like a couple years ago. Went to a little producer grind thing out in LA, and that was it.